Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video, and today I want to talk about guns. It's fair to say if you've played Borderlands before, then guns, and by extension loot, is kind of one of the main drivers for playing through the game, and according to the trailer, there are over 1 billion guns in this game. So I did the fun thing of going back through the last two trailers, and I counted as many guns as I could possibly see. I came to a grand total of 120, admittedly I kind of lost count after 100, so there might have even been more, but I thought what we do today is go through, count all the weapons, and also take the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the brands and a bit more speculation about potential brand loyalty. So if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of our future uploads. We're going to have a ton of Borderlands content coming your way this year, so don't miss it, because there's going to be some good stuff. But turning your attention to the video, in the background, I'm just going to start counting through all the guns we've seen so far, give you guys a quick look at the ones that I've pulled out. I was originally going to go through and try and name all the brands and match them up where possible, but that's just crazy talk, and honestly, until we actually get a chance to look at them in game and inspect them, there's more chances of just getting it wrong anyway. So instead, we're going to stop on some noteworthy weapons and use that opportunity to talk about brands. And the first one we're going to stop on is this gun right here. If you zoom in on the Vault Hunters jumping across this gap, you can see that the Siren, Amara, is actually wielding a Maliwan rifle. Now we do get a chance to see this later on in the trailer as well, but this is probably one of the better pictures of it, so we're going to go with this. Now, one of the cool things in Borderlands 3 is that a lot of the brands all seem to have dual functionality. That's a new feature in game. There's kind of different things that you can do, different fire modes, different behaviors for the different weapons and different brands. And for Maliwan, that allows you to toggle between two different elements. You can charge your weapon, and you can then use that charge to deal guaranteed elemental damage with your finger glued to the trigger. So, you know, the ability to swap between different elements is going to be incredibly useful depending on what you're going up against. So that's pretty cool. And just having dual functionality also means that, you know, in the past, if you wanted to change the functionality of your weapon, you would physically swap to a different weapon, but now this effectively means you can get a little bit more value, a little bit more bang for your buck out of each and every weapon. Then after counting quite a few more weapons, we're going to stop off here at a Vladof sniper rifle with a rather interesting attachment. We see this again a couple of times during the trailer, but this is probably the best picture of it. And ignoring the rocket barrel on the bottom, you can clearly see, you know, it has that kind of sniper form factor to it. But one of the unique things about the Vladof weapons is that you can augment these rapid firing, ammo hungry guns with underbarrel attachments, which include tasers, rocket tubes, and additional gun barrels. So there's quite a few different Vladof weapons seen throughout this as well. Basically, if you see something with like crazy additional barrels, crazy additional under weapon attachments, then safe to say you're probably looking at Vladof weapons. So that's a pretty cool brand if you want some like crazy things. I can't wait to see how that actually performs. I mean, being able to snipe someone and then just switch to a rocket launcher, yo, I'm completely on board. Then moving past yet another plethora of weapons, we have the Vault Hunters running out of this door, and we have Flak, the Beastmaster, wielding a Jakobs sniper rifle. Now Jakobs is of course the old school, the classic, the traditional guns, but they do have a rather interesting perk, a rather interesting gimmick, so to speak, according to the official website, and that is that if you deliver devastating critical hits to an enemy's quote-unquote soft and sensitives, I'll leave you to work out what that is, then apparently they will joy puke, and then your bullets will ricochet towards other targets. So that just sounds incredibly hilarious, and I cannot wait to see that in action. Then if we jump forward even further, we have arguably my favourite weapons I have seen so far, and that is the Tediore brand. Now the Tediore weapons, in previous Borderlands games, you would of course throw them to reload, but in Borderlands 3, when you throw them and you toss your weapon like a grenade, it will then pursue nearby enemies, while a fully loaded version digistructs in your hand. So I'd be willing to bet that depending on, you know, the amount of bullets left in the gun when you throw it away, will probably kind of influence its effectiveness, but yeah, I definitely want to use a lot of these weapons because I want to play Beastmaster, so I want to be that guy running along with a pet and guns that just run in front of me. I think it's going to be hilarious. And it also raises an interesting question that on the official website, it does speak about the brands in a rather interesting way. It references brand loyalty. Now, this is admittedly speculation at this stage, so, you know, take this with a pinch of salt and whatnot, but it would be quite cool if in Borderlands 3 they had like a means to actually allow you to align more so with your favorite brands. Maybe, you know, we've seen this in other games before where, you know, if you use enough weapons from a brand, you kind of tick off challenges, you can unlock additional bonuses. Maybe it's one of those ones where if you really like a brand and you kind of equip nothing but that brand, you can unlock additional bonuses. That would be really cool, kind of like a set bonus thing where if you have nothing but Tediore weapons, then maybe I can throw my weapon and it turns into an army of weapons, an army of running guns. That would be pretty sweet. Yes, I'm letting my mind run away with me right now, but it is still worth kind of calling out because on the website, the way that it does phrase it, it is still, you know, listed as brand loyalty, just as opposed to like the brands. Moving on from there, we then have a rather interesting weapon, which I don't necessarily feel like this one fits in with the existing brands listed on the website. This looks more like it could be an Iridium weapon, but we don't really know much about that at this stage. So moving swiftly on from there, we have the Hyperion weapons, which are really interesting because in this scene here, we get a couple of cool things. Not only can you slide and you can actually see your feet now, but the Hyperion weapons do come with shields. When you aim down sights, you actually bring up the shield around your gun, and if you then keep firing and you keep your finger on the trigger, it'll also increase the accuracy of your weapon. So this will allow you to kind of run more so headlong into battle, maybe take some shots whilst playing a little bit more recklessly. That kind of sounds like the sort of thing I should be doing because I have a tendency to be on the front lines getting shot and killed in basically every single game I ever play. Then if we jump a little bit further forward, we have this red and black gun, which I called out before. I really like this. I love red and black color scheme, but this looks like it's an Atlas weapon. In fact, on the website, we actually get a picture of these really cool looking like arm mounted weapons where you physically mount it on your arm. But the Atlas weapons are rather interesting because they have the option to then tag your enemies with these sort of like laser trackers, and then once you fire at your bullets, it unleashes a hail of smart bullets that will then track down your targets, and of course, after that, you then go and pick up all the loot. So they sound pretty sweet. We then have one of the Torgue weapons, which with this brand, you can switch between regular and sticky projectile fire modes. And stickies will also do more damage if a bunch of them detonate on the same target. So, you know, if you had a whole squad and you were all using Torgue weapons and you all fire them onto a boss, that could make for some rather explosive mayhem. We then have one of the Dahl weapons, which with this brand, it allows you to toggle between alternate fire modes depending on your playstyle. So I imagine that therefore means you can switch between things like full auto, burst fire, maybe single shot, that kind of thing, which will be pretty useful because depending on the way that you want to engage your targets, depending on maybe the distance, that will of course have much greater value in certain encounters. And then finally, we turn our attention to the Children of the Vault weapons. This was actually seen in a press screenshot. They actually sent out a few official screenshots. There are some really cool pictures on them, but the one that actually shows a new weapon is, of course, this one here. We see Mose wielding a Children of the Vault weapon, and these weapons are pretty interesting because they don't have a magazine. They effectively have infinite ammo to allow you to, like, deal unlimited damage. However, they do have an overheat mechanic, as you would expect for, you know, typically anytime you have a game that has a gun without ammo, invariably has some kind of overheat mechanic. So provided you can manage that, then yeah, you could use these to put down some sustained fire, and they just look pretty cool. They have this really crazy, wacky, almost Sunset Overdrive look to them, / Splatoon, if like Splatoon was an 18 rated game. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I like it. I'm liking the sort of like bright, punky theme to them, so I can definitely see myself checking out some of these weapons. But that, my friends, is pretty much it. That was a chance to count through quite a lot of weapons. Obviously, if I wanted to count every single one, I could have also gone through all the montages and tried to pick out all the numbers in there, but there's a lot of weapons, and you'll forgive me for not doing that just yet. But for the time being, that's it. That was a look at all different brands and some kind of food for thought on what brand loyalty may well mean. So keep it locked. Got plenty more videos coming your way. I've got lots of cool things I want to talk about over the coming weeks, so stay tuned. And of course, May 1st, put that in your calendar. That is the gameplay reveal. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch 269 and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the end game store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.